All right, here we are. So let's get back to publishing on this YouTube channel to explain a little how the community works today. Over the past few years, I haven't published much because I've been very busy with this phase of modernization and improvement of my business and the community. So, in what way has the project improved? It has improved because after many years of working with directional trading, I finally found a way to bring in a component of automated trading. Automated trading that those who have followed me for a long time know I had tried to invest in, but in the past without success. Many years ago, I created a project called Forex Robot. I tried to invest in that direction, but it was a difficult investment with disappointing results, I have to admit. Then I invested by hiring traders and developers, and there too a lot of money spent, a lot of work, and it added up to nothing. When artificial intelligence arrived, instead, I finally managed to make that leap in quality that let me replicate my directional trading inside automated. Models that do an excellent job. Of course, this is research work, research that begins and keeps going, right? Because I have now developed, and I'll tell you about them, many strategies, and I work to optimize and improve them every day, every month, every year to reach solutions that are more and more competitive. It's the same path I went through with directional trading when I started in 2009. Okay? Then in 2014, I created this project to share what I know, and now I'm continuing by adding all the work with artificial intelligence and automated trading. Now, you see, over the past few years, thanks to prop trading firms and thanks to artificial intelligence, it has been possible to improve and modernize my trading and to open doors that before were unthinkable, to access capital and to operate on many markets with automated strategies. Those who have followed me for years know it. I have always said we should work on a few markets we know very well. And this is the rule that has always applied to our directional trading. The point is that having the possibility today to also work with automated strategies, we can operate on many markets, on many accounts, with many firms, because the software is either fully automatic or semi-automatic. And so we don't need to go looking for opportunities. The opportunities are found and managed by the software. We do a job a bit like a money manager with these strategies. Now I'll explain, since it's been many years that I haven't published anything on this channel. I've published something on the other channel, which I'll show you now, the Nature Law AI Quant channel, which is about another project, one that runs parallel to this community. All right? So if you take a look at the new members area, at the new homepage, you'll see that the logo has changed. The purpose of the project is still the same, but there is this strong component about artificial intelligence and working with data. Okay? Large masses of data, because it is from the data that the answers emerge. That is what we should do and how we should do it. These aren't choices we make arbitrarily or based on intuition. No, absolutely not. Ours is a business based on data. Whether directional or automated, it is always based only on data. It's the data of the reference market and the strategy that tell us. They give us back results and they say, look, you have to operate this way. The expectation you can have on that market with that strategy is this, nothing more, nothing less. So it's the data that gives us all of this, and the targeted use of artificial intelligence lets us get these answers much, much faster, get extremely accurate answers, whether we are doing directional trading or automated trading. And so it's an enormous step forward. I needed time to learn. To use this tool to modernize the whole business, to modernize the community. But now we're at a point where it's possible to do research together inside the community. It's possible to give each user the chance to choose certain strategies, take care of them, update them, feed the data back into the community, and optimize all of this together to gradually reach together reliable results, which again are always earned through research work, right? Nobody holds the absolute truth that just produces and that's it, okay? Or at least this is the truth that I know. So one way or another, I always work to do research and to improve every day. I collect data, and based on that data, I make my reflections, and I move forward to improve every single day, every day, all right? That's the situation. So our homepage is now structured this way. We have this YouTube channel, which is the historic channel of the community. I haven't updated it much, but now I'll be updating it every week. Just click here and you can subscribe if you aren't already. Then we have the Nature Law AI Quant channel. What is this channel? On this channel, I've published a few things recently to explain this transition phase between the trading I've always done and the trading built, calculated, and powered by this technology, artificial intelligence, and what the steps forward are that I'm making, okay? And so on this side, I mainly explain, I'll mainly publish videos about the work with artificial intelligence, data analysis, what the data returned with the model I created, because I created 2 artificial intelligence agents based on Claude Code. One is called Realistic Engine AI, and the other, more advanced one, is called Nature Law AI Quant, okay? It's really a separate project that serves only to compute the strategy's data to get answers, okay? And so to find investment models, trading models that on a database of 9 years on Darwinex allow us to then do a good job. That is, we analyzed 9.5 years of data on average. And based on this data, we define the events that the market produces. Always with the same philosophy as ever. We know that the financial markets tend to repeat, especially the currency markets, fairly easily what they've already produced in the past. So if we study a database of 5 to 10 years, we have the chance on each market to know the natural problems we need to face in order to reach the profits. Because the profits are found just beyond the cost that we're called to manage every day. Okay? And so this project gives us the chance to compute this data and get answers of this kind. And I talk about it through this other YouTube channel. Okay? On the community channel, we'll talk about the community, the project's features, what you can do, what we can do together, the results of a strategy, the group work, all of it. The answers about the data, instead, I'll publish on the other channel. All right? That's the idea. Then here you'll find the new homepage with everything we do today in the project. and what I do today for my research work, for my trading, okay? And how we can collaborate. You see, here there's an explanation of what it means to process with the realistic engine and what it means instead to process with the Nature Law AI Quant engine, which has pre-opening models, very, very advanced morphological analysis, algorithms that artificial intelligence itself then suggested based on the analyses. And so I've developed these first three models, and I'll develop more because they're leading to very interesting results, okay? The usual courses, so those who've already taken past courses can come back in. We have the training credits. Those who've already studied have all their progress saved. And you can pick the course back up. The course's training credits then serve to access more resources. Let me show you now, okay? The free ebooks you can download, just click here and you access the ebooks you can download. You don't even need to register them. You register down below only if you want to, but not because I have to give you the ebook. The ebook, you download it or read it, and if you're interested in what we do in the project, at that point you subscribe, you join the project, and as I always say, if what we do is close to your needs, together we can do excellent things. But it's right at the beginning to start understanding how the business works without registering, without doing anything, so you can take a disinterested look, okay? No commitment, in short. How does the research work? Okay, the purpose of the project, all the benefits for members and for premium members, okay? Which now exist and didn't before. Premium members access a set of more advanced solutions, as well as, of course, one-to-one coaching with me. But apart from all this, let's go and see how the members area works. The members area has changed profoundly compared to the past because now we have a set of features that weren't there before on the directional trading side and on the automated trading side. We have, you see, a dashboard where I give all users indications on what to do each day to improve. These update dynamically. The user completes them and moves on. The live sessions we run on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the working groups, I publish here, and then you access them simply by clicking. Where are you with your study? The community's latest live sessions, the welcome video that I periodically update to give you some indications on what you can do to improve every day, to make the most of all the resources that are now available in the community. All the benefits and limits of your account, which change based on whether it's a basic or premium subscription, but above all based on the training credits, so on your level of study. A level of study which is then, you see, measured here. Here we have the training credits, which indicate the balance in terms of experience. I always say it, we have a balance in economic terms and a balance in terms of experience. Here we measure the balance in economic terms of all our accounts. I'll show you how in a moment. And here the balance in terms of experience. The more the experience balance grows, the more resources you access. Because the philosophy of the project hasn't changed, it's the same as always. I'm glad to share components of my work. I don't want to say the secrets of my work, because they aren't secrets, but they're details that are important to me. So I want to share them, not with a distracted user, but with those users who've shown a real interest in our business. And so the use of training credits helps us measure this interest. So the more training credits you have, the more resources you access. This doesn't change the costs. All right? So here every user has the chance to see the balance of my accounts in real time, the directional account and the automated accounts. The capital I'm managing, the profit or any loss. Okay? Day by day, week by week, also with a more accurate summary. I'll show you now. Here it's basically the same as your accounts. In my account, it appears twice because it's always me. In your account, you'll see my work, and your training credits. It's all ready. Just log in and you find this dashboard ready to use. Here, all the features you can use inside the community. Then you click on feed. On feed, you basically access the feed we had, that we've always had inside the community over the past years. Okay, and here you find your training credits again. My work with my accounts, your work with your accounts in detail. Okay, so the months where we had some costs, the months where the market developed very well. Okay, now let's see the detail of each account. Each production account, you see, is called a fund because it's an aggregate of several accounts. Okay, so Fund GBP, Fund Mars, which is 2 accounts, and so on, with their performance. All right? Because now every community user has the chance to open research accounts and production accounts. Let me show you quickly. Research accounts, just click here. You can see all the research accounts where we activate the quantitative and automated strategies, semi-automated ones, or the directional strategies that we put to work, so as to have an analysis platform to analyze our data. You see, it shows us each account, even the open trades, because it's connected in real time to each individual MetaTrader platform. All of this was built with artificial intelligence. I don't understand anything about software development, and I created all of this myself over the recent period, precisely to have this community solution that I had designed many years ago and hadn't managed to build. You see what great advantages this technology gives, truly formidable. Each account, you see, benefits from a structured analysis platform where we can see the data, the individual daily data, the maximum drawdown, the maximum profit, and so on. The days that produce the best profits, the days that produce the biggest costs, and everything. The more data we collect with the research accounts, the more data we'll be able to use to improve our trading. All right, for example, doing research, you discover that the months that produce the most are the ones that then cost the least, right? And so there are many truths that emerge, okay? So the research accounts are generally demo accounts or small size accounts, and then we have the production accounts, which are real accounts or accounts with Darwinex or with prop trading firms. All right? This one, for example, is an account with Darwinex that's doing well. Here, the one that's done best lately, because you see a ranking. In recent times, with the war in Iran, America and Iran, it hasn't been easy, nor with the war in Ukraine. But in the end, the problems are there, and you have to learn to manage them and overcome them. Okay? So it's also educational from this point of view. This is a strategy that did very well in May. In June, a small cost. You see, we keep costs under control. And so you too, by watching the account, can see whether you're putting in place good trading that produces well when the market can produce and produces small costs. When instead the market doesn't allow you to produce results, how the drawdown works. These are all the data we have to keep an eye on under control, to understand whether our trading is consistent with our philosophy whether it works with respect to the principles of money management. You understand? Okay? That's the idea. Then we have the Strategy DB. The Strategy DB is a database in which I publish all the automated and semi-automated strategies that I develop with Strategy Quant and then optimize with artificial intelligence. And here you find them all. They're available to users, both basic and premium, so they can experiment, so they can start their own research work with these strategies, test them, learn to use them. Okay? To produce, to build their own fund made up of their own strategies. Strategies that I commit to studying and optimizing, I release updates periodically, which we can install directly from MetaTrader. There's a little button, okay? I'll show you in the other videos. You click, it updates, it restarts, and the strategy is always better, always up to date, okay? And here you see strategy 2.1.165 on sterling yen. Right now it's the one that's done best. You see, this is a ranking where you can see the base strategy and all the optimizations with the realistic engine and with the advanced engine that produces compressed algorithms. Okay? In fact, here the strategies come already configured. Here, instead, a base strategy comes out that we then configure ourselves with the parameters I publish. These are the configuration strings. All right? You see, each strategy can be placed assigned to a limited number of users. This is to avoid duplication on the same broker, to avoid many people using the same strategy. Okay? There are plenty of strategies anyway. Right now, there are about 100, and they're the best of the best that I've developed using very strong computing power. I'm investing about $5,000 a month for this computing power, an investment that a hedge fund would normally make. I did it for myself, for my trading, and I shared it inside the community because formidable tools emerged. Now they'll be even more so because we're continuing the research work to make these strategies better and better. Okay? And step by step, we're reaching results more and more promising, in short. Okay? But I want to be clear on this point. The collaboration inside the project is a research collaboration. I share the steps forward I make with my trading, the tools that concern my trading. You can do research together with me to reach results yourselves too. You reach results by doing research, by doing study and research, study and practice. This is the only way I know to reach results, okay? And I say with absolute frankness, with absolute transparency, because this is the truth that I know, and this is the road that I follow. All right? Here you see there are many strategies. So, as I said before, I used a very, very strong computing station, and I still use it. Now we're looking at how to allocate a bigger budget, $60,000 to $120,000 a year, to compute third-generation strategies. We're asking Google and Amazon AWS for a bit of support to give us the chance to do these computations because, after all, I'm not a millionaire hedge fund, right? And so I have to be able to allocate these resources to do a good job, and all this good work is still shared inside the community. You understand? This is the philosophy. And so if what we do, as I said before, is compatible with your needs, you accept the philosophy and we collaborate. That's more or less the idea. So these 100 strategies are part of the best out of several million strategies that have been developed. So they are, let's say, first and second generation strategies that are doing an excellent job. And in the coming months, the third generation ones, even better, will arrive too. All right? Okay, so here, many strategies. Each strategy has its own analysis page. I'll show you quickly where you can study the data and see how this strategy on paper has worked. These are backtest data, but I want to make a clarification. It's important to make it because these aren't backtest data produced with a homemade backtest. They're backtest data produced with a strategy, with a tool that is strategy quant, with a high quality computing station of extremely high quality, on par with what a large hedge fund can do. So these aren't data I put together in my spare time. They're very accurate data. Okay? They're a starting point for research work, yes, but they're still high quality data that show how a given strategy works on every market swing on the data. And having 9 years of data available, 9.5 years, we use Darwinex data for the processing. We're able to study, as I said before, all the problems that over such a wide span of time the market can produce, with the awareness that what the market does then tends to repeat. And so we schedule, we define a series of events that the market develops. It's a finite number of events that the market develops and repeats over time. Okay? And so a backtest this wide, this accurate, gives us the base we need to then do an even more advanced processing job with artificial intelligence. You see, this is a long-term strategy on sterling yen. So in the months when the market develops well, those are the months when trends develop. If it doesn't develop trends, it produces few costs. Okay? Is it possible to optimize a strategy like this? Yes, it's possible to do it in different ways. With the realistic engine, we select the processing runs that I've produced and shared. You see, so for example, here we see that this strategy, if I increase the risk from 0.2% per trade to 0.5% and use a monthly drawdown limit of 1% and a break-even stop at 1%, over 9.5 years produces on paper from 469 to 1.7 million. So there seems to be a big advantage based precisely on the data we compute, always a very accurate backtest. And so what do I do? Based on this data, I then start a research process to confirm what I've produced on paper. Because if already on paper the backtest, however accurate, tells us the thing doesn't work, well, we can discard it up front, right? We only start the research work on those backtests that show promising data. So this is more or less the procedure. And these are the realistic engine optimizations. And then we have the very advanced ones, which produce even more and produce with greater control using the 3 pre-opening models, the morphological analysis, which basically analyze with a complex algorithm that artificial intelligence itself produces. And we always look at the data here. We study it first. Okay? On paper, it shows us a certain evidence that you see is realistic. There's something realistic. There are realistic elements. Because when we see a backtest that always gains, that's not possible. Because if we're dealing with a long-term strategy, it has to gain a lot when there are trends, but it has to struggle when there aren't. And we see it clearly. Here it struggles, here it struggles a great deal. So we understand that here an intervention is needed already at the backtest stage to avoid a situation like this. And this is all part of the research work. And having a lot of data available, we can make these evaluations. Then we have the ideas, funds, algo section, where there are ideas that I formulate and share to compute and plan activities with a set of strategies that work together in synergy. So I created Fund Neptune Ideal Base, and then I created the Fund Neptune account with 2 accounts. So Fund Neptune, which works on 2 separate accounts, to see what I planned and what it's producing. Here is always a 9.5-year history. And this is the history of the recent months in which this account is starting to work, and it needs time to mature. Okay? And this is more or less the work. Then here we have analysis and backtest pages that serve both me and the community users to share ideas and solutions using a page that we can configure. It's useful for sharing an idea about directional trading or for pinning down an idea and measuring it, always with the analysis page, okay? Here, with the KC action and reaction method, for example, I've shared some events to show how the opportunities work, okay? So how the internal pullbacks work, the breakout orders, the orders based on confirmation and liquidity, and so on, with a picture of each opportunity, okay? So that everyone can then study the events and maybe even build their own page to enter them. The page can be private or public, to build what your own idea is, maybe even to then improve the strategy I shared. Then here we have the power tools, okay, which you can download and use for MetaTrader 5. It's called Quick Orders. I'll show you in the other videos. And the Pine Script indicators, which I'll also show you. Personal resources section, you see there's a lot of stuff compared to the past, because I've been able to develop all those ideas that over the years I had in mind, but hadn't managed to build. Okay? My research accounts, my production accounts, the strategies linked to my account, because each account has a limited number of slots that it reserves. And so we can go and check my analysis pages, the power tools I'm using, same thing with the indicator, and then the personal API codes that let me activate the quantitative strategies on MT5, the power tools, to basically share the data with the account in order to use the quick orders power tools. In short, all of this. All right? Then here we have the premium resources for those who take the premium subscription, which allows you to also use the Nature Law AI Quant strategies, the advanced ones. And so here we see the slots the user is using. Here the realistic engine editor, which lets premium users use a set of credits each month to process their own optimizations, which can then stay private. And then here the possibility of scheduling one-to-one coaching sessions with me every week, based on a set of availabilities that I make available from time to time. All right? We can study certain topics, we can configure a strategy together, define an idea you want to build together into a strategy, configure the VPS if you don't yet know how to do it. It's a support I've given in the past too, but in the past I gave it to a very limited number of users because I didn't have much time. Now with a structure like this, it's possible to do it with a few more users. All right? And that's it. Then here we have the working teams, and in each team we do live sessions. I share videos, information, the community users gradually. As they update, as they subscribe, they update. You can see if they're connected or not connected. In the working groups, in the feed, you can also comment and start a discussion with any of them. All right? That's it. So now the project has changed. It's improved. And now I'll resume publishing on YouTube on this channel to explain to you every week what we're doing, what you can do, and what we can do together. All right? I'll say goodbye and wish you good work. Bye, everyone.